All right, you guys are in the home stretch. Community service and what we fondly call reseteering are a big part of our program, and actually stemmed from discussions with our residents a number of years ago about how we could be enhancing resident well-being and being able to participate in community service, which was an important part of so many of our trainees' lives when they were medical students, undergrads, and even before that. Was very important to them. And so we have a committee of residents with a faculty lead, Dr. Becca Lumsden, who's one of our graduates, who plan monthly drop-in reseteering events. You can see us here loading up baskets for the Interfaith Food Shuttle, working at the Durham Rescue Mission, and then also a build that we had in a Habitat for Humanity community that's being built in Northwest Durham. Our well-being divides along a framework that thinks about, what can we do with workplace structure and practice? How can we as the program provide things that are available to residents that they don't have to think about, that assist with well-being? And I'll show in the next slide a couple of things there. But for example, the 4+2 scheduling, knowing that on a regular basis, you know what your weekends off are, you know when things are going to be a little bit more relaxed, and you don't even have to really think about it, is an important part and basis of resident well-being. The community service and other community events, social events that we have, help with our feeling of community and belonging. And as you get to meet our residents, albeit virtually, we know that you will see and hear and feel the Duke family and sense of community that they have. And then we also offer individualized opportunities for reflection and growth. Those are particularly important parts of your development, and figuring out how you take a step back and think about your own big picture is part of your well-being. And some of those include our debrief programs, our resident leadership programs, our Civility Champions program, narrative medicine, among other things that happen throughout our time here. Here shown in words are a number of structure and practice things that we do for enhancing your well-being. The 4+2 schedule, I will stand by as one of the greatest things in residency scheduling. It was not my idea. We adopted it from a national platform, but it has been fantastic for our residents to have that ebb and flow, systole, diastole, basal bolus, you choose however you want to call it, but ability to have intensity followed by some time where they can step back. We have formalized schedule change request processes, and our residents are able to work on ways to trade with each other so that they can attend important life events. Our flexible self-care, or FSC program, allows you to plan ahead to have certain half days off so that you're able, again, to take care of yourself or attend an important life event. GME-wide, there's a one-step appointment process for you to get a primary care appointment for yourself or your family. And, no longer novel, but video visits are acceptable for all of those. We have a paid fatigue ride home program that's GME-wide. We fund if people are leaving campus to go to our off-campus mental health appointments. We certainly pay strong attention to work hours and patient caps. And if you so choose, and you're a faster dictator than you are a typer, all of our residents have capability of using the Dragon dictation system throughout our EHR. Here are some of the community and belonging things that I mentioned, as well as our opportunities for reflection and growth that you can see here.
So where do our residents go after training? Traditionally, about 70 to 75% will go into fellowships and subspecialties. As they do nationally, cardiology, hematology, oncology, GI, and pulmonary lead the percentages, but really we have an excellent representation across the spectrum of internal medicine that you see there. About 15% each year will elect to go into hospital medicine. Many of those will take jobs which have a large part of medical education as a big piece. and about 10% into general internal medicine, Duke primary care, or academic practices and private practice. And you see our senior resident match list from 21-22. That will come out for 22-23 in early December, and we will share that with you when it does. Each year, about half of our graduates will elect to stay at Duke for their subspecialty training, and the other half will go to a variety of places across the country. And I think you can see that in the most competitive fellowships, our graduates compete at and land at many of the leading institutions across the country. So this is the part where I send you subliminal and maybe not so subliminal messages on why you should come to Duke in the next few slides here. And I think what we have really starts with great infrastructure. I think the Duke Health System is phenomenal. As I said, it's a wonderful resource that brings in primary care from the patients who utilize Duke and consider Duke their home hospital, and really mixed with tertiary care from across the Southeast and across the country. You add to that the availability of the VA, which is directly across the street, and it really just enhances the learning opportunities and the patients we're able to provide care for. I think you add to that a group of faculty who are firmly committed to your clinical, personal, and professional development, and that's highlighted here. And you can see scenes from the hospital, from Aptum, and even from Turkey Bowl from a few years ago. And I think the most important part of the program that you're going to be joining is going to be your co-residents. And our residents come from all over. Generally 30 to 35 different medical schools are represented in each class, as they are in this intern class. And you see in the next few slides a variety of pictures from some social events. And as Amy highlighted early on, Duke family is a real thing. And I think the people who come here become incredibly close. And I think certainly the area that we are able to live in and the closeness of the group really is enhanced by that. And in the end, it comes back to this. Several years ago, we had a program retreat, and we solicited input from recent graduates. And this came back from someone who had just come out of the program. And so I went to medical school and got my MD, but I became a doctor at Duke. And that really it kind of rings true for all of us who trained in this program. And you see some pictures, from across the hospital. And this is a picture of Eugene Stead, who was our chairman for 22 years. And when I took this job, I went back and read his book to get some of that history, and was amazed to learn that he actually made bedside teaching rounds with the residents 4 days a week, 11 months a year, for 22 straight years that he was our chairman of medicine. And really, that is part of our fabric, and that is our commitment to you to help you become the best physician that you can be. And the next slide is a nice sunset view of the University Hospital. And obviously, hospitals are brick and mortar. But what makes the program is the people that are shown here. And I hope that you choose to come to Duke, and we will be able to use your photograph in the slide next year. So we appreciate your visiting us today, and hope you've had a great visit and a great set of interviews. And Amy, I'll let you conclude with the final remarks there.
Yeah, so thank you for taking the time to hear us talk about a program and a place that we absolutely love. We wish that you could be here in person to experience the Duke family in that way, but we hope that our excitement and passion about the program and the people who are here can shine through even in a recording. We're excited to talk to you one-on-one as you come through the interview day, and look forward to you becoming the next members of the Duke family.